Hey you guys, welcome back to another monthly reading wrap-up. This video is going to be a quicker one, I hope so, because I only got to read 4 books this month, and I actually finished the last one in the first day of September, but it's still a August read for me because I read like 97% of it in August. These are the books and you will see which one exactly I read. So without further ado, I guess let's just start. So the first book I read is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. In this book you follow Amelia Rose. She is a singer, she's a pop star, and she was very overwhelmed with her job that she needed to take a trip break, and she decided to go to Rome, Kentucky. So on her way there, her car stopped in a garden of a bakery owner. His name is Noah Walker. Noah Walker owns a bakery that his grandmother left for him. Here basically starts the story. Both of them did not want to really get into a relationship, especially him because he wasn't one with also a famous person and it did not go well for him. I love just reading about the two characters. I love the banter between them. The book really had me giggling. I loved Sarah Adams' writing style a lot. I did not want to put this book down. I loved also the side characters in this book. If you haven't guessed already, this is definitely a 5-star read for me. I loved everything about this book. Like, I don't have anything to criticize. So yeah, this is the first book. The second book I read in August was Love Theoretically by Addie Hazelwood. So first of all, don't mind the cover. It's a little cringy, okay? I know that. But I was actually quite surprised by how much I liked it because I did not expect that. And the same goes for the last book, When in Rome. I did not expect to like both books, but I did enjoy it a lot. And this was on its way to a 5-star until the spy scenes showed up, and I skipped them, but they were a lot and they were annoying. I find these scenes sometimes very unnecessary. Like, you could have left them out of the book and the book would have been amazing. Nonetheless, I did enjoy it. You basically follow these two. They work in the physics section. Like, I don't really understand the jobs very well, but I guess she's an experimentalist and he is one as well. But they went from like haters to lovers. She hated him a lot because he was the one that ruined the chance of a good job for her, and she doesn't really earn a lot of money, so her side job is fake dating. I don't know what else to say about the job because it's weird. So she ends up fake dating his brother while he has a crush on her. It's an interesting story. You would at least love the first half of the book until the spy scene comes, and then everything just falls down for me. And I'm in a loss of words here. Do I recommend it? Yeah and no. I guess it depends on who wants to read it because this is a very romance heavy book, but at the same time her writing was so good and entertaining that I would say give it a shot if you want. So yeah, that was the second book. Wow, that took me a while to put a summary into words. Okay, the third book I read this month was a new genre for me. If you follow me, you probably saw it on my story, and it was His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This was my first thriller ever. Now I know it's not really my genre. Like, I wouldn't really pick too many thriller books up because this was kind of creepy. So basically follow this murder scene where the investigator or like the police becomes a suspect himself, and I can't really tell you what the book is about because I don't want to ruin the book for you, but every chapter ends in basically a cliffhanger, or the author just puts a mind-blowing information that you're just stunned, like, where did this just come from, you know? And yeah, I was kind of blown away and I was very surprised. I did kind of guess the suspect by the end, by probably the last 30 pages before it got released. But what I can tell you that I suspected every character in this book. Probably 80% of the characters I suspected as the murderer, but they weren't. But they acted so weird that you just had to suspect them. His and hers, as in his and hers point of view. I do recommend it if you want to try reading a thriller. I guess this is a good start to this genre. Would I pick another book by her? Definitely. Especially Rock, Paper, Scissors, and another one that I'm going to leave on the screen are also a very high rated books by Alice Feeney, so hopefully I will get to them eventually. I'm just not really in the mood right now to read a thriller book. But yeah, 4 stars, solid 4 stars. We are slightly coming to the end of the video. The last book I read is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I just want you to see the height difference because yeah, it's a huge book. And the font of this book is so small. This probably took me 3 weeks, which is not my normal reading tempo, but with school and everything, you will understand. So let me tell you very quick what it is about. Just to get one thing out of the way, I did not understand the politics of this book. This was a little too confusing for me. So apologies if I don't say everything correctly. So it's about this girl, Violet, that had to enter this crime quadrant because her mother is a sheriff. The goal in there is to survive and become a dragon rider, and this was actually very interesting to read about because I never read a book about dragons, and I loved that aspect of the book because how cool is it to talk to a dragon? Like, that would be mind-blowing. Like, I would want to do that as well. But anyway, first 200-ish pages were a little boring and slow-paced because nothing really was happening. They were just fighting and people were dying and nothing really interesting was happening. But after the halfway mark, it got very interesting. Because of the first half of the book, I can't really give it 5 stars because there were a lot of times where I did not want to pick this book up. I guess I'm going to give it 4 stars. I do recommend it. It is just quite big. With that, I'm done with the reading wrap up. Here are again the books that I read this month. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you picked some recommendations out of this video. And I will see you next month. Bye!